Hello, and welcome to Day by Day True Crime Stories, a podcast where we explore a different crime or justice milestone from this day in history. I'm your host, Kona Gallagher, and today is May 16th. On this day in 2006, 32-year-old Rey Rivera walked out of his home and vanished. A week later, his body was found inside the Belvedere Hotel beneath a hole in the roof in a locked and rarely used conference room. What began as a missing persons case quickly turned into a mystery filled with cryptic notes, damaged relationships, and conspiracy theories that have captivated the internet for nearly 2 decades. Today, we're diving into the case of Rey Rivera, what we know, what we still don't, and why so many people believe that this was not just a tragic accident. Let's get started. Rey Omar Rivera was born on June 10, 1973. He grew up between Southern California and Florida and was known for being smart, athletic, and incredibly driven. He graduated from the University of the Pacific in 1995 and pursued his passion for storytelling, diving into screenwriting and filmmaking in Los Angeles. At the same time, he coached water polo, which was one of his lifelong loves, at a high school in Burbank. By 2004, though, Rey was looking for a little more financial stability. He accepted a job offer from his close friend, Porter Stansberry, who ran an investment firm in Baltimore called Stansberry and Associates. Despite not having a background in finance, Rey quickly became the lead writer for one of their newsletters, The Rebound Report, which focused on undervalued stocks. That same year, he moved to Baltimore to start a new chapter with his fiancée, Allison. They were married in 2005 and settled into their life together. Rey still hoped to return to filmmaking one day, but for the time being, he was more focused on supporting their future. Behind the scenes, there were tensions at work. Stansberry and Associates was under scrutiny from the SEC, which filed a complaint in 2003 accusing the company of fraud. Although Rey wasn't involved and wasn't named in the suit, the case cast a shadow over the company. And in 2007, the SEC won the case and the firm was fined $1.5 million. By 2006, Rey and Allison were considering moving back to California. He was in good spirits and full of plans, until the day he vanished. On May 16, 2006, sometime after 6 p.m., Rey received a phone call that caused him to abruptly leave the house. Allison was out of town for work, but her coworker who was staying with them remembered hearing Rey answer the phone, say only a few words, and then rush out. And that was the last time anyone saw him alive. For days, family and friends searched frantically. On May 24th, his car was finally found in a paylot near the Belvedere Hotel, a historic building in downtown Baltimore that had been converted into condos and offices. Later that same day, a co-worker at Stansberry and Associates noticed something strange on a lower rooftop extension of the hotel. Broken tiles and a hole in the roof. When authorities checked inside, they discovered Rey's body in a locked, unused conference room directly beneath the hole. Also found nearby were Rey's flip phone and glasses, oddly intact despite the apparent fall. There was no blood on the shattered tiles, and the hole itself didn't seem to line up with a plausible point of impact from the hotel's upper levels. The medical examiner ruled Rey's death as undetermined. Police initially floated the theory of suicide, but almost everything about the scene left more questions than answers. As investigators tried to make sense of what happened, Allison made a strange discovery. Taped behind Rey's computer monitor was a folded note that was concealed in plastic. It was unlike anything investigators had seen before. Some parts read like a manifesto, others read like a screenplay. It opened with, quote, "Brothers and sisters, right now around the world volcanoes are erupting. What an awesome sight. Whom virtue unites, death will not separate." end quote. Now that final line is tied to Freemasonry. Allison later confirmed that Rey had recently taken an interest in secret societies, and he'd even purchased a book titled Freemasons for Dummies. The note went on to reference a bizarre mix of friends, celebrities, and fictional characters. Names like Christopher Reeve and Stanley Kubrick appeared alongside references to the movie The Game, a 1997 thriller in which the main character is pulled into a life-threatening psychological conspiracy that he believes is just an elaborate game. Parts of the note read, quote, "That was a well-played game. Congratulations to all who participated. But it was time to wake up. So here I am. Quote, I'd like to welcome those who accepted our invitations for membership during the game. We couldn't have done it without you. End quote. I stand before you a man who understands the purpose and value of our secrets. That's why I cherish them as secrets. End quote. It wasn't a suicide note, at least not by conventional standards, and the FBI agreed. After reviewing it, they determined that the note wasn't evidence of suicidal ideation. Still, no one could explain exactly what it was. In the years since Rey's death, countless theories have emerged. Some are grounded in known facts, while others tread closer to the surreal. But none offer a clear answer. Number 1 is suicide. Police initially considered suicide, theorizing that Rey jumped from the roof of the Belvedere. But the logistics don't add up. The angle and the distance of the hole from the main roof suggest that it would have been nearly impossible to reach. And Rey wasn't showing signs of depression. He had plans for the future, and he was building a life. Number 2 is foul play. Some believe that Rey was murdered, possibly by somebody connected to his work, or that he was lured to the hotel under false pretenses. Stansberry and Associates has long been a focus of internet speculation, though no concrete evidence links the company to foul play. Number 3 is the game theory. Given Rey's mention of the game in his note, some wonder if he thought he was part of a real-life version of the film, possibly coerced or manipulated into a scenario that he couldn't control. Was it psychological manipulation, paranoia, or something else? Number 4 is a helicopter drop. Now, another far-fetched theory suggests that Rey was thrown or dropped onto the roof from a helicopter, explaining the trajectory and the locked room. But there were no reports of low-flying aircraft in the area that night, and no physical evidence supports this theory. And keep in mind, this is post 9/11 in the DC area. People are out there keeping track of these things. Number 5 is a staged scene. Perhaps the creepiest theory is the idea that the entire scene was staged, that his body was placed in the room after he died, and that the hole was created later to make it look like a fall. Supporters of this theory point to the clean edges of the hole, the lack of visible trauma around it, and Rey's intact phone and glasses. But despite all of this speculation, no theory has ever been proven, and Rey Rivera's death remains unsolved. It's been 19 years since Rey Rivera left his home and never came back. His family still doesn't have answers. His wife, Allison, has never stopped searching for the truth, though. So what happened on that day in May 2006? Did Rey take his own life? Was he silenced? Was he playing a game that he never signed up for? Whatever the answer is, if there even is one, it's a story that continues to haunt, not just for its mystery, but for the very human loss at its center. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of Day by Day True Crime Stories. If you found Rey Rivera's story compelling, please subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It'll really help us grow. And be sure to join me again tomorrow as we explore another significant event in true crime history. Until then, stay safe and remember that behind every headline is a life worth remembering. Day by Day, True Crime Stories is a Little Monster production.
Hey, you can do it!